Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review. In this video, I continue to build the Eaglemoss Ghostbusters Ecto-1. I am on stage 25. Now on stage 25, we continue to work on the chassis. It's huge. You wouldn't believe just how big this thing is. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome back. Let's look at the instructions for stage 25. So the parts we received look like we have a radiator beam with some horn brackets and a junction box. So we assemble the horns and junction box in stage 25. And shouldn't be too bad there. So I will be right back with the parts and we'll get a closer look at them. Here's the parts for stage 25. And looks pretty good in there. Quite a few screws too. So I'll take these out and we will get a closer look at them. Here's a close-up of the parts. Now the only parts that are metal in this pack is this beam right here up front. So that's the radiator beam. And we received radiator beam strut supports. There's two of them. The left and right front wall of the engine. And of course our horns and horn brackets. Junction box. Top and bottom. Cable assembly. And the screws we received are DM, DP, EM, and HP. Let's get started. Step one, we assemble the radiator beam, and with that we have to turn this over so we can get access to the holes on the back. And they tell us to put DM screws into these brackets. Let me turn this around because I want to make sure that these parts right here on the ends are facing me, and that way I can bring them over the way I'd like to. And these actually need to go like that. If you see there's a larger paddle sticking out, that needs to be facing in that direction. And the same with the other side. Needs to be facing in that direction also. Use our Vaseline to lubricate the holes. Screws are going in the middle. This one here, and this one here. And like I said, we use DM screw for this. So it should just line up. There's an alignment tab here that goes onto. Just like that. And one more. And there you have it. That's how that looks. Instructions show it that way. And it looks just like the instructions, so I'm just double checking. Good. Now we assemble the junction box. And there's an alignment tab. Simply goes down just on top of that. Just like that. And on the back side we're going to put a HP screw in. Just like that. not too tight. Looks good. Bring our bracket back over, and it's going to mount just like that on the bracket with our screw facing on the bottom side. More Vaseline. Makes the screws go in a lot easier. Put 2 EM screws into this. Okay. And they're going in pretty easy. Tighten them both down. There we go. That's what your junction box looks like. Next we have to fit these walls, and the wall here that has the most, like 4 screw holes on it, goes over here on this right hand side, and that's simply going to go down just like that. Once again, we need to lubricate those holes. And line it back up again. And put 2 DM screws in. Leave it a little loose. And tighten them both down. Now we'll line up the other side. Lubricate the holes. Just so you can see it. And that's how that looks there. Next we assemble the horns, and we're going to put them all together with 2 HP screws. So it's simply, we're going to take and line this up, the backing here, and we'll put an HP screw into that. Get it started. And then we line it up to the tab. And screw it down. And that's how that looks. This side, which it is, and make sure our flat's on top. So okay, that lines up with that. And that's kind of how it looks in the instructions, like that for that one, and those two together there. So I can just all I could recommend with this stage is when you're building these things that you make them look as close as you can to what the illustrations show. There you go, there's a close-up of that. So I built them as close as I could the way the illustrations show. Now we'll mount the horns, and the first horn I'm going to mount is the one that has the bracket that looks like that, and that's going to mount right there with an HP screw. And make it so that camera can see. Just like that. And the next one we mount is this one right here with this type of bracket. It's also an HP screw. It goes on to where the horn faces the other horn. And there's a alignment tab for that too. There it is. And a little fiddly, but easy to do. Let's go to the next step. Now I mount the radiator to the support, and we're going to be using DP screws for that. So we will line up the first one there. There it goes. Put our screw in and get it started. Doing a lot with this issue, but it's a lot of fun. And the last screw to go in. Go. Make sure this one's tight. And it is. Looks good. And we have one more step. I need to get the chassis out for that. But that's what that looks like. Looks great there. And there. Then we get the chassis. I'll be right back. And the last step here for stage 25, we have fixed this cable to the generator. Now I think just to make it easier, we're going to put it on this terminal on the generator here. I'm going to remove it. That way I can just put the cable on it, and then I will put it back on. There we go. And then should be able to just put it back on. There we go. And that completes stage 25. I'll be right back. And that completes stage 25. We assembled the radiator and frame assembly, the support for it, along with the horns, and we installed a cable on the generator. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell for all notifications. Head over to Eaglemoss and subscribe to this today. It's a fantastic build. The car is awesome. It's huge. It's definitely an investment. Happy modeling, everybody, and take care.